behind every year. Joining us now is Ashish Bansal, former Google, Amazon, and Twitter executive and CEO of StarSpark AI, with new solutions to help kids stay ahead. Ashish, welcome to the News Desk. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to speak with you and your viewers.
Well, let's talk about it, Ashish. We hear about the summer slide every year. Why does math seem to be hitting especially hard?
Math, I think of it, to take a sports analogy, I think of it as practice, right? If you don't play for a while, you lose the skills that you have. So math is like that, and research shows that you can actually lose 2.5 months of math over the summer by not practicing. Here's another way to think about this. If you have a phone battery and you don't charge it, it's gonna go down. Think of your math ability as the phone's battery. Over the summer months, if you don't keep it charged, it's gonna go down, right?
Has anything changed in the recent years, Ashish, that made this learning loss even more concerning?
Definitely. I think there is a lot more pulls on students' times over the summer. There is devices, there is a lot of different things that are happening for the students. So there are challenges that the students are facing today. Lives are busy for parents as well. So we need to make sure that just like we make sure that we get up every morning, we brush our teeth, we make our bed, we spend 30 minutes of math every day.
And for parents that are watching right now, how quickly can students fall behind in just one summer?
Very, very quickly, in fact. So this data that is there, it shows that about 2.5 months of math is lost over the summer months, in 2 months. In reading, it's about month and a half. And it's really easy to stop, actually. So that's the thing that I think with a little bit of focus and a little bit of effort, we can make sure that our students are fully charged when they start the school year in the fall.
A lot of families try worksheets or even maybe apps, but what actually works when it comes to preventing math loss?
All of those are great. I'm not going to say this is a very specific solution. Obviously, we have StarSpark, which can actually help quite a bit. Important thing is to develop good habits. Make sure that you are consistent. Again, I like to link it to going to the gym, right? If you want to get healthy, you got to show up 5 days a week and put the workout in. Same thing for math. Make sure that is the good habits for the parents and the students, spending a little bit of time on even simpler platforms like StarSpark. You don't have to go find the right worksheets which are aligned to your grade. Will this work for my school and so on? And also, parents tell us that even if you get the worksheets, did the student do the question correctly? If they did not do the question correctly, where did they mess up? Because not every parent has ability to help with STEM subjects, right? So we want to make sure that everybody has the right set of help that they need, irrespective of their background or their education, right? So we want to make sure that all of the students get the help with minimal effort from the parents, and it has to be fun for the students also to do. So we have a number of math focused games as well that actually help sharpen the calculation ability, the computation, the logical breakdown. The last thing I will say, which is very important, is that we do not provide solutions. So one of the challenges that we see in today's world with AI solutions is they just give you the answer. So that does not help students build their critical thinking ability. That is the most important thing today, is to help our students think for themselves.
Okay, Ashish, you've worked with some of the biggest tech companies in the world. How can AI succeed where traditional methods are falling short?
I would say that AI has some beautiful properties and some not so good ones. The ones that are beautiful are it is infinitely patient, right? So as a student, I can ask it the same question so many times that it never loses its patience. Me as a dad, sometimes I lose patience with my children. They're like, hey, I don't understand this. And I'm like, but I explained it to you 3 times. And they're like, I still don't understand it. But AI never loses patience. The other thing that is great about AI is once we train it with the right pedagogy, and how to teach a certain subject the right progression. It never forgets. So it has infinite memory and infinite patience. When we build AI for education, a purpose-built system like StarSpark, then we can actually ensure that every student has access to a highly capable math tutor at their fingertips 24/7, not like a private tutor that costs you $50 a week or that's available only for 1 hour in a week. It's always available to you. Some of our students report they play track and field. So while they are waiting for their track and field event to start, they just get a few questions done on StarSpark, and that helps them keep up to date. It's only 30 minutes or 25 minutes a day. So it's really, really easy.
Let's talk about how this StarSpark can actually personalize learning differently than, let's say, a tutor, as you mentioned. How does it do that?
First of all, personalization for us means we need to know what the student's current level is. We need to know what the curriculum is, what the syllabus for that student is, what is their state standards. We need to know language, for example. It's a very important thing. There is a reason that an elementary school teacher can't teach high school and vice versa, not because they don't know the subject matter, but mostly because the way you speak to a middle school student or an elementary school student is different than the way you would speak to a high school student. So we train our agents to recognize that the language ability, the vocabulary, the grammar is different. And then we continuously assess the student's level and continuously adjust. So if they make a mistake, we are actually able to figure out what are the misconceptions that the student might have and the conceptual weakness that may be coming from a concept they didn't master in a previous grade. That can also happen, right? So we are trying to make sure that we use AI to the right place by making sure that we continuously understand where the students' misconceptions are and tweak our lessons and our assignments and our exercises to target those. So this results in the student having to do less work because we are only focused on the areas that they need extra help with, and also avoid just repetitive worksheets, which a lot of students find a chore, right? I'm just going through the same questions again and again. I know I've done this, and why do I need to do this again? Let's get them to how do we maximize the time? The way I think of this is it's a personal tutor, just like you would have your own personal gym trainer. They're not going to force you to do exercise that you have already mastered. They're going to push you continuously. That is what we do with StarSpark.
Let's talk. This is subscription based, I'm guessing, right, Ashish?
Yeah, there is a free trial and it is subscription based. And we try to make it extremely affordable. Think of it as 5 Starbucks coffees a month.
Okay. Some parents may be skeptical about AI. What would you say to them?
I think in today's world, it is a given that AI is making a huge disruption. I think we can be ahead of this curve by helping our students master AI for its purposes. I think humans have always created tools that have extended our abilities. In some ways, we are in a world where we have seen this before with calculators, right? A few decades ago, when calculators came out, we had a very similar debate. And then we evolved to create our assessments, our teaching methodology, to know that, yeah, there's some things that calculators can do well, like computation, but math is not just purely computation. Math is a life skill where we are teaching students to take a seemingly unsurmountable problem, break it down into manageable parts, solve the manageable parts, put them together. To me, that's a life skill. We face these problems as adults in life all the time, and nobody can solve a really challenging problem, but we can solve smaller problems. So we always try to break down problems into smaller parts. So that's the part that we want to make sure that students learn. And that is what StarSpark Socratic AI tutoring is all about.
Bottom line, Ashish, can kids actually come back ahead in the fall? And what does that take?
So we have actually seen students who are getting ahead. We have students who have been able to complete an entire year's worth of math in about 4 to 5 months with us. So if you spend 2 months on the platform, you're about 6 months ahead in this class. Now, whether you were slightly falling behind in the previous grade or you want to get a head start for the next grade, that is definitely possible. All it takes is 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Really, really easy. Just think of it as rather than I'm going to spend time watching reels or playing on Roblox, I can spend 30 minutes doing StarSpark every day. I'm sure kids can do it. And it has really, really big payoff.
How can families find more information?
Very simply, StarSpark.ai. Free trial, try it out. We are very accessible. Even though we use AI to tutor, we are a human business. This is about humans. We are actually helping. This is a human problem that we are trying to address. So we are also very approachable. Send us an email. You can call us. We are always available to help and work with individual students and parents and families.
Ashish, thank you so much. And you were right. In my grade school back in the 80s, our teachers told us you will not have a calculator in your pocket in your day-to-day lives. But they were wrong. I do have a calculator in my pocket, Ashish.
It's a pretty capable one. It also sends emails, I think, right?
It does, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 11 minutes after the hour. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here to KFYR+.